All right, we'd like to welcome you, seniors and parents. Congratulations. You have made it, almost. You've almost made it to your graduation. We want to just say congratulations to you. We are very excited that we will be able to host a graduation this year. My name is Chris Fore, the middle school, high school principal. I have with me tonight our senior events coordinator, Mrs. Yvette Todd. Mrs. Todd, would you like to say hello?
Good evening, everybody. Let's see, we're up to about 50 of you now, so that's good.
And then also tonight, we do have a translator. And so our translator is here. She will be translating this as well. Would you like to introduce yourself or stay anonymous?
Hello, everybody. My name is Elena Graham, and I'll be assisting you today. Buenas noches a todos. Mi nombre es Elena Graham y yo voy a estar asistiéndoles. El señor Ford me va a dar ahorita inicio y si necesitan me pueden mandar un chat directamente a donde dice traductor. Mr. Ford, you still need to assign me, and then I will go ahead and go away pretty much. Right where it says share screen, click somewhere around that area and you'll have an option to assign me.
Got it.
Thank you. All right. So you won't be able to hear me or won't be able to talk anymore.
Okay. Do you want to explain how they?
Sure. I actually will be sending everything via chat. So voy a mandar toda la información en el chat. Si necesitan traducción, nada más me dejan saber a mí directamente bajo mi nombre de translator y yo les voy a ayudar. Gracias. Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Okay, so we again, we're really excited about being able to share this information with you. A lot of work and planning has gone into our graduation. And again, I'd like to thank Mrs. Todd, who has been working on this plan with myself and a lot of members at our school staff. We in a nutshell, we've had basically 4 graduation plans together since about January, and we've been following the lead of the county health department on which plan we could have. And so I know I've received a lot of information. I know Mrs. Todd has as well over the last month. What is graduation? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Our message has been the same. Just wait, please wait. Our goal was this past Friday, basically, to have our plan all out there and available. And so we're excited to let you know tonight what's going on. Again, please save your questions until the very end. It's difficult having questions come up as we're presenting. You can put them in the chat now if you'd like, but we won't see them or address them until after we present. And then again, we'll probably answer a lot of your questions as we go. Mrs. Todd, do you have anything to add as we start? All right. High school graduation happening on Saturday, June 5th at 10 a.m. You probably have heard that, well aware of that now, out at Jet Dock Stadium. 6 members of your household can come, and we'll hit on that, what that means in a moment. We have set up a website specifically with all of this information. This recording is also going to go on there. If you want to go back and watch the recording, you'll be able to do that, okay? If you go to tpaa.org/graduation, okay, you can find this website with all of our information will be up there, okay? Mrs. Todd, would you hit about graduation week?
All right, so typically we do grad practice 2 times in the week prior to the graduation ceremony. We are going to try to have the graduation practice set up the same as the actual ceremony will be, as close as we can on our field, at the TPA field. If I could have seniors, when you arrive to campus on Wednesday and Friday, so Wednesday, June 2nd and Friday, June 4th, you'll come in the admin gate like you have been coming in, And if you could maybe wait, if you come in a little bit before 8:30, wait around the amphitheater till we're all ready to move over to the field, and we'll try to move over together as much as possible. So if you're a little bit late, we might already be out there, then you would have to find your way over there. And then once we're over there, the first day will be a lot of how do we assemble into the lines that we need to assemble into. And we'll explain this more in detail when you're there. We don't want to bore the parents with this because you guys don't really care how the kids are going to line up, but we'll get you all lined up, and then we'll do like a run through. The first day will probably be a minimal run through as far as what you're going to hear over the speaker, what Mr. Fore is going to say as far as like practicing. It's more going to be lining up, practicing walking, so that when you're in the processional, you're not all clumped together, right? So we'll have teachers out there, staff out there to help tell you when, okay, start walking now, pause, wait, start walking now, pause, wait, so that it looks like a flow, like a graduation looks, so that you're not all bunched up into a group and then a big gap, right? And that's one of the reasons why we say wear comfortable shoes at grad practice, so that you're not, trying to walk and stand for long periods of time in something that's not going to be comfortable for you. And then we'll repeat the same thing again on Friday for grad practice, but maybe this time we'll have the lining up a little bit better, and you'll be able to go a little bit more through the ceremony. So we'll practice like, would the graduates please stand up to be recognized? Would the graduates please be seated? So that we kind of do it all together and it looks a little bit more formal, like a formal event. And that's usually how grad practice goes. Then we'll talk, do you want to talk about cap and gown distribution now? Okay, so then you'll see on Wednesday after grad practice is listed cap and gown distribution. That's going to be in the gym. So we'll move right from the field into the gym, and we'll have tables set up by your alphabet. And we'll be giving you your cap and gowns that you ordered. And then if you ordered or if you received anything else from the school as far as like an honor stole or a CSF pen or something like that that you get with graduation, you'll get all of that when you get your cap and gown on Wednesday.
Yeah, I believe it's 2 weeks, right? Yeah, 2 weeks from this Wednesday. So that's going to come up big. That's going to come up quick. That's a big day. Also, senior sunset
is that same day. Yeah. Yep. So just continuing on into the night. It's kind of, I know, maybe a little bit of a hassle to go and come back, but if you can join us, that's our sort of end of the year just for seniors, not for family or friends. Graduation, the day of, is for your family, your parents, especially grandparents, and all those people that, want to see you do well. And you have those parties and dinners and things afterwards, after you graduate. Senior sunset is more about your classmates and sort of your the staff that have been there. And some of us have known some of you since you were in 7th grade. So it's kind of like a final send off. We'll have dinner served by our lovely food services, a barbecue. They'll be grilling some hamburgers, and we'll take a picture at sunset, which is approximately 8 p.m. that evening, and then wrap things up. So it should be a fun time where we haven't been able to be together this whole time. We do have some logistics and some regulations we have to follow, but we can explain all that to you then.
Awesome.
One more thing about cap and gown real quickly. I know some students have asked me, but some of you maybe haven't asked and haven't had a chance yet. You can decorate your cap. I did put that on that little newsletter, excuse me, that went out to you. You can decorate your cap, the top of your cap, just keep it school appropriate, is what we usually ask. And I'm sure if you look at, the internet, you can see all kinds of cool examples of some that have been out there and done in the past. So yes, that is allowed. So you can go to Michael's, go to Joann's, wherever, Walmart, get your craft supplies and make it personalized.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's going to be a great week for our seniors and their families. Out at Jethawk Stadium, just kind of want to give you an overview so everybody knows what to expect, since this is the first time we've had our graduation out there. There's 4 parking entrances. You'll see those 4 here. It doesn't matter which one you come into. Graduates and their families will park there next to that big 2 where you see that. And then we've got some VIPs and staff are parking in that other parking lot. There's 3 main entrances. There's 3 main entrances for our families to enter the premises. And that's right here underneath that jet, okay, right at the very entrance to the stadium. So you'll see when you walk up, you'll see 3 lines. We do have you, before we get to that, we do have you coming in 3 different groups. There's going to be one group from 9 to 9:15, 9:15 to 9:30, 9:30 to 9:45. We'll get to that in a moment. Some of the COVID guidelines, very important for our families to understand. We had to apply to even have a graduation ceremony like this with the County of Los Angeles. We had to tell them exactly what our plans are. We had to agree to follow these plans and the guidance from the county. So some of the things you'll hear tonight, you might not like, and that's okay. I understand your frustration. I really do. I've got an 8th grade son, not the same as what you are here with a high school graduation, but you know, for me, it's a little bit of a bummer. He doesn't have to get to have a middle school promotion like they always do. Things are going to be a little different for him, and that's a little bit of a bummer for our family. I know some of these guidelines and policies you'll hear tonight might be a little disappointing for you. However, I really hope you understand we have tried and worked very hard to give our kids a proper graduation within these rules. Number 1 thing here is that attendee groups, that means those 6 people that you get to bring, those are limited to just those in your household. And again, that's a state and a county guideline, meaning that it's not TPA. We're not the ones creating that guideline. The state and the county have said nobody gets to come to the graduation unless they live with you. Okay. So that's very important to understand. Only those who are a part of your household are allowed to attend graduation. You're allowed to bring 6 people from your immediate household. Again, those who live with you. For all the rest, for the other folks you want to see, you want to have share that special moment, we are going to be live streaming graduation. A professional group called Z Access Media, they are going to be coming in and live streaming this. We will be getting that information out that week, but we will be live streaming graduation. So if you want to have a party at your house, maybe going on, happening, they can all gather there at your house and watch it happening. And then as soon as graduation's over, you head on over to your house and then have your big barbecue, have your celebration at that time together. We know a lot of you want to bring more than just people from your household. We understand that. I do. My family's very large. I have 6 brothers and sisters, plus my mom and dad. I would have 7, 8 total coming. And so I know it's frustrating. Please understand we're doing everything that we can. Attendees must sign up prior to graduation. Now, the good thing is about 201 students out of a graduating class of 220. We had just 19 students, as we checked earlier today, have not yet signed up for graduation. If you are listening, if you're here tonight and you have not filled out our form, RSVPing for your seats, please go do that right now, or as soon as we're done, tpaa.org/graduation, or in the emails I've sent out, please sign up tonight. Okay. And I'll tell you why that's so important in just a moment. All attendees must wear a proper face covering. That's not an option. I know that you may have heard in the news recently, CDC said no more face coverings are mandatory. That's not true in California. In California, you still have to wear a face mask, and specific for this graduation, you have to wear a face covering. You will not be allowed in the stadium without a face covering. Graduates and their families must wear a face covering. All attendees, you must maintain a distance of 6 feet from others except for those in your household, okay? You're supposed to maintain 6 feet of distance from everybody except for those in your house. If you're particularly vulnerable to COVID-19, you should not attend. If you have a pre-existing condition for COVID-19, you should stay home. Next, individuals, if you're sick on the morning of graduation, or if you feel any of the symptoms of COVID-19, shortness of breath, a cough, a sore throat, a temperature, you need to stay home and not come to this event, as sad as that might be. Those are some of our COVID-19 guidelines. Folks, there's not going to be any tickets this year. There's no tickets this year, okay? Your graduating student is your ticket. That's right. Your graduating student in their cap and gown, that is your ticket to get into the event. So each senior will enter the stadium with up to 6 guests from their immediate household. Each senior, you will come in with your mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, whoever that is that you're bringing as your guests from your immediate household. You will enter the stadium with those people. Each family will be assigned 6 specific seats, okay? So each family, if you sign up for 3 seats, you're going to have 3 seats assigned to you. You don't have to bring 6 guests. That's the most you can bring are 6 guests. Now, if you want to share your spots with somebody else, you're not allowed to do that. So like if I only wanted to bring 3 and I said, well, I want Mrs. Todd to have my other 3, that's not allowed this year. And again, that's a state and county ordinance, because then we would be mixing your households, okay? That cannot happen. So there's no trading of tickets. There's no selling of tickets. There's not even tickets, okay? Each family, you're going to be assigned 6 seats. On June 2nd, that seat assignment will be emailed to all students, and it will be posted at tpaa.org graduation. So you'll be able to pull up right on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you'll be able to look at your seat assignment. When you get to the stadium, you're going to have about 3 days to know exactly where you're sitting. Seniors and their families need to organize themselves in the parking lot and enter all at one time, okay? Nobody will be admitted to the stadium without a graduating senior. Very important that you understand that. Nobody is going to be admitted into the stadium without a graduating senior. So you'll all come in one group. Each senior will receive 2 parking passes for their immediate household. So you can bring no more than 2 cars. Your family, again, you should all be living together. So this should not be too difficult. You're at your house together. You get into no more than 2 cars and you come to the event. As a COVID strategy, seniors and their household member guests are assigned 3 different times to enter. And again, all of this is on that letter we've emailed out to parent seniors. And all of this information is also on the website, tpaa.org/graduation. So you'll see there, you'll find your last name. My last name starts with F. So I would show up at 9 a.m. or a little before, get in line. I'm going to enter the stadium with my family first. Those A through F from 9 to 9:15, G to M from 9:15 to 9:30, and then the rest of the alphabet N through Z from 9:30 to 9:45. This is the stadium. That's where our facility will be. All right, and so you'll see here the seating chart that we are working on. Okay, I'm going to go back to this slide. You'll see right in front of us, the very first row, there's only 5 people that can sit there. And so one of our seniors who says, I'm only bringing 5, you may be assigned right there to that row. You'll see a couple rows back from that, you can seat 6 in a row. Well, that means your family will have that whole row. Over to the left, you'll see there's like 8 or 9 who fit in those. So one family will have that whole row of 8. Again, you can only bring 6, but it allows for you to distance. We will only be seating people in every other row to allow for that distancing that's needed, okay? What the rule is with the stadium in the county is you can have 6 people all sitting next to each other in the house. Then you've got to have 2 empty seats and then another 6, okay? So we are working on, I've created this diagram, and we are working on filling out this diagram. So you'll see over here on the right, okay? You will see on the right, you'll be assigned 103A. That's your seats, okay? You're being assigned, most of you will be assigned a row. Some of you will be assigned a row and then seats. Look down at one on the very far bottom right here, 115A, 1 to 6. That will be one family of 6. Right below them, you'll see 115A, seats 12 to 17. So my assistant, Jocelyn Ramirez, in our office, she is in charge of this seating chart. She's doing a great job. And so if there's any changes you have to your guest list, you would email myself or Jocelyn Ramirez. My email address is on the website, tpaa.org/graduation. We'll make sure to get Jocelyn's email up there as well, okay? And that's who you'll contact if you need to make a change to your guest list, okay? All right. And again, you can ask questions in the chat, but we're not answering those yet. Again, June 2nd, that's that Wednesday. It's a big day. June 2nd is when the seating assignments will come out. tpaa.org graduation is where you will see them posted. And what you'll see posted there is list here, just filled in with names on the right. And then we will also be emailing this list to our student senior email list. We will also put a map up of the stadium so you can find your section where you'll be. When you get out there to the stadium, the rows are listed very well, but we will get you, and it's got, our seating has to be very organized. Once you are assigned a row, you're not allowed to make any changes to that. We did ask on the ticket reservation, we asked if there's handicapped people in a wheelchair as a part of your party, because they have to be assigned. We will be seating them first in the wheelchair seating. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen. Seniors, you're going to enter the stadium with your 6 guests, and then you're going to leave them, okay? You're going to walk them to their seats, and then you're going to leave them. And about half of you are going to go to staging area A, and the other half will go to staging area B. You will choose where you want to go. We're going to talk more about that on graduation day. It's important, if you want to sit near your friends, you're going to go in the same staging area with them, and I'll show you why in a moment. But that's what's important. Again, we're going to go over this a bunch at graduation practice. You're going to sit, half of you will go to staging group A, the other half to staging group B. And here's why. Okay, again, this just shows you the seating chart, what we're working on. And this is what the stadium will look like. That stage will be right behind second base. And you can see here, graduates seating group A, about 100 of you in group A, and then about 100 of you in group B. All of the graduates and our staff will be sitting on the infield, okay? All the parents and family will be sitting in the stands. So what will happen is students and graduates seated in staging area group B, right at 10 o'clock, we're going to start this thing on time. We're going to try very hard to get everybody in their seats to start on time. That's very important. because we know people will have parties and stuff planned afterwards. Very important that you get to the stadium, that we're going to start on time as close as we can. So just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like, graduates in group B, when the time comes, they will be walking along the edge of the stadium in what's called the warning track. And that's a dirt area. They're going to walk and kind of be marched in front of all the stadium, all their friends and family. We'll get to see them. That'll be one long single file line. Okay. And at the same time, graduates in seating group area A, they will also be walking. And so A and B, both those groups will be walking. They'll pass each other, maybe give each other some high fives on their way to their seats. Okay. So that's kind of what it'll look like, just to give you an idea. A few guidelines at the stadium as we wrap up. No balloons are allowed inside the stadium. So please do not bring any balloons to the stadium. Save those for your parties at home. No confetti allowed at the stadium. No poppers allowed at the stadium. Should anyone from your house try to enter the stadium with any of these things, they will be directed and turned around back to their car. So please do not show up with any of these items. Anybody walking in with balloons, we will not let them into the stadium. That's just going to delay you getting in, getting to your seats, because you're going to have to return those balloons back to your vehicle. Flowers are fine. Balloons are not okay. Okay, we're going to have some balloons up ourselves on the field as part of our decoration, but they're not allowed in the stands because they end up popping, making a mess, and they also end up ruining the view of the people behind you. So right now we're going to open this up. We're going to stop the screen share, and we're going to open this up for any questions. You can put your questions in the chat. I'm going to go through these questions as they come up and just start answering them. If you have no questions, if you would like to go, if you want to be dismissed, you are dismissed at this time. We thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully you have learned a little bit more about what our graduation looks like, what our expectations are. Again, I'm here for about the next 30 minutes. Mrs. Todd and myself will answer any questions you have, because we want this to be a great event. Mrs. Todd, can you talk a little bit about the expected dress code of our graduates?
Yeah, so usually you're wearing your gown over whatever you have on. And your gown is going to cover the majority of it. For the gentlemen, or even ladies that want to wear pants, a pantsuit or something like that, keep in mind it ends at maybe calf level, mid calf, that you'll see whatever's below that, that will be seen. It is a more, one of the more formal events that take place in your life, maybe not as formal as a wedding or, some other things like your communion or something that happens at church, but it is a little more formal. So just keep that in mind when you're dressing. Try to dress like you would dress to go to something that is a semi-formal event, and wear something that is fitting of that. And you're going to have your gown zipped, so it's not like we're really going to see that much, but that's usually the general guidelines we say is wear something that would be semi-formal, and keep in mind that you might see the bottom of it. It does tend to be windy, so also keep that in mind when you're choosing your dress outfits, whatever you're going to wear for that day. Is sometimes we have quite a big gust of wind. You would probably want to bring some, depending on your hairstyle, some type of bobby pins or something to fasten your cap, because a lot of times those take off in the wind. Writing your name, if you decorate the top of your cap, you probably don't need to worry about writing your name in it. But if you don't decorate the top of your cap, if it's just plain, you might want to write your name on the inside. There's usually a little spot to put your name. That way, if it does blow away, you can retrieve it and know that it's yours. That kind of thing. Shoes, like Mr. Fore said, maybe like a small flat heel, not like a pointy heel. The main thing is we don't want pointy stuff going into the grass, and we don't want you tripping either. But like if it's a flat, like a wedge heel or something that's not too high. I think that covers dress code. The other thing that I wanted to mention, someone had asked and I started typing an answer. The names aren't ever read or we don't read names in alphabetical order. We'll practice this at graduation practice. What it is you approach the stage with a card, an index card that has the name written out how you want it read. So if you have 5 or 6 names, then we read all 5, 6 names, whatever you put on the card. If you only want a first and last name read, we read your first and last name. That's what you put on the card. You approach the stage and you hand your card to a reader, and then the reader reads the name that's on the card. So we don't usually ever do alphabetical order. The only exception is that we do have our students that qualify for California Scholarship Federation in gold. So they are in a slightly different order. So we'll have half of the gold on the A side, half of the gold on the B side, and they will approach the stage before the people that are not CSF members. But it's still not alphabetical. It's still, you can still sit, whichever side. We'll figure that out so that it's even and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Somebody asked if families are allowed to bring posters. You're allowed to. The issue is there's nowhere to hang them. But you're more than welcome to, as long as you keep them out of the way of the people behind you. Dress code for guests, there really isn't one. I mean, Mrs. Todd just talked about that. This is supposed to be a nice event, but we're not going to turn someone away if they're there in shorts and flip-flops and the uncle doesn't want to put on a pair of pants. That's fine. Is each group going to leave or remain in the stadium? The group stays in the stadium. That 9 to 9:15, that's just the arrival time. I understand it's going to be a little bit longer morning for those who have to come at 9 to 9:15, but those are the arrival times, okay? Yes, you do have to wear a mask as you walk on stage. Jazzy asks, how do we choose if we're in group A or B? That's going to be done at the first grad practice. Students will have to make a choice there, which group they're in. So just start talking amongst yourselves. It's going to have to be split though. It's going to have to be very close to being even. About 100 in each group, okay? Are there going to be professional photographers? Great question, Nathaniel. Also, that's my son's name, so nice name. There's going to be a professional photographer who comes out and takes photos just like every year. So we will have a professional photographer who comes out, and then they will make those photos available to families for purchase. Are graduates not going to be seated? Okay, we just talked about that. No, it's not messy. Araceli Aguirre or Aguirre asked, no, that's how, this is probably my 20th graduation, I think, right around there, working at schools. That's how most schools do it. It's never alphabetical. It's just how Mrs. Todd explained. If it stays alphabetical, it's very difficult. And then also kids don't get to sit next to their friends, this is all about the kids. So hopefully you understand that now. Joseph Morales, will there be a link given to give out the live stream? Yes, we will be getting a link out that week. And also that link will be at tpaa.org/graduation. And so that's just kind of that website. Again, I'll put it in now, tpaa.org/graduation. That's our hub for all things graduation, okay? And that's where we will have it. Block heels, okay. Yes, might not be too comfortable, but that's much better. Senior sunset, I'm not a vegetarian. This is for those who are. Food will be vegetarian option for senior sunset. You know that, Mrs. Todd? Is there a vegetarian option for that?
I will ask Becky. Usually she has a few options.
Okay. Can we wear open-toed shields like heels? At graduation, yes. Yep, no problem. Mario Serrano, once graduation ends, we have to exit the stadium right away. Can we be on the field with others? Unfortunately, no, we're not allowed. Nobody can come on the field. That's one of those COVID mitigation strategies, because if we allow everybody onto the field, now you've got 1,000 people all mixing together. So unfortunately, you know, we will dismiss the seniors and they'll have to leave. They could go right outside the stadium, maybe take some pictures together, or however seniors want to do that, but families are not allowed on the field afterwards. Yeah, you are allowed to bring drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. It'd be a good idea to send a bottle of water with all the graduates, but we will also be having those. Also, we will have waters for sale there as at the stadium as well as a fundraiser for one of our groups on campus. Air horns.
Just water, though. We don't want them
Yeah, just
bringing.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Air horns, we just ask you to be respectful. We're not going to turn you away. We just want it to be a respectful environment. And sometimes if you do those for too long, the name behind is not read. So we're not going to be going around taking those out of people's hands, to be honest with you. Can the guests be able to record, take photos? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can film the whole thing. You can take as many pictures as you want. Absolutely. Mrs. Todd, a question about my daughter received a medal from NSHSS. Can she wear that?
At the graduation ceremony?
Yeah.
We have board approved. I would have to look through for this year. We would have to address it with the board, but we do have board approved ceremony regalia. So probably not, but they can send an email and we can look into it.
Miss Marisol Ruby, if you could please send an email to either Mrs. Todd or myself on that, we will have an answer for you. How do we make sure our name is pronounced correctly? Mrs. Todd will be going over that at graduation practice. Okay. Let's see. You're going to write your name. Oh, Miss Sherry answered that. Awesome. Perfect. Just coming up on these questions. There's a lot of them. When we get to entrance statement, we have to show our vaccination cards also. No vaccination cards are needed. All right, looks like that was it, actually. That for grad practice, do we need to bring an ID, Mrs. Todd?
However, they're coming onto campus now. Well, I guess some of them don't know, but
yeah,
same procedure.
Yeah, you will need to have your ID just to get onto campus. So yes, please do bring that. We have to show your ID for graduation, not at graduation. Your ID will be your cap and your gown. Can we purchase senior sunset barbecue picture?
That one, we don't have a professional photographer. Usually Mr. Ione or a couple other staff will come and take pictures, and then we just post them on, and you can take pictures, and then we post them on, you know, the class of 2021 or social media or whatever. We don't have a professional photographer for senior sunset. For graduation, yes. And I think you covered, right? That'll be O'Connor.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they usually post, O'Connor will usually post the availability to purchase your graduates, you know, the actual walking across the stage and picking up, well, it's not your real diploma. You pick up your real diploma after the ceremony in the back. We'll have places set up and we'll communicate with you where those will be, but you get your cover and you stand and pose for a photo, and O'Connor takes the photo and then they post that on their own website. So we might put a link on the TPA website, but it's all through O'Connor.
I had a question for senior sunset. If we arrive early, where do we go? The gates won't be open until right at 6:30. So you'll just have to hang out in front of the school. If we misplaced our ID from last year, that's fine. Just show up that morning. We'll get you in. We're not going to turn you away. What's the senior sunset supposed to look like as far as hanging out? You want to talk about what senior sunset will look like a little bit, Mrs. Todd?
Yeah, and the senior, I saw another question in there that the senior sunset is just for students. We were sort of lucky enough to be able to get that to happen within our guidelines because we do have to follow the amount of people we can have in a group. So it's just for the senior students only. And there will be some staff there to congratulate them. And so it's more of a time for them to spend that last bit of time with their classmates because we know that graduation on Saturday is all about the families and what you're going to do with your families. The event will just be food served by our food services, and they're going to do barbecue and have a few other options like fruit and chips and cookies and soda, I believe. And then we are trying to work out getting a DJ for some live music, and just time for you guys to see each other. I don't really think we need to have too much of a organized event, because I think that many of you haven't seen your classmates in over a year. Well, maybe you've seen each other other places, but as one big group. So it's more a time to see your classmates, see your, your teachers, your staff, your admin that you haven't seen, sort of say your goodbyes. Bringing your yearbook would be a good idea if you have a yearbook for this year, sign each other's yearbook, all of that stuff, and enjoy being together as a group for one last time. That's what sunset really means, is it's like the bookends. Senior sunrise is in the fall, and we weren't able to do that in person. We just did that virtual, and then senior sunset at the end. And then we get together for the big picture at the end. Oh, they're not getting their yearbooks until them. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought they were going to arrive sooner. Usually we have them before the last day, but.
Yeah, there were a few questions here from students on when the yearbooks come in. Those won't be coming in until after graduation. Not a problem, Denise, if you lost your ID. Guys, we're not going to turn you away if you don't have one. We'll have a list of all the seniors that morning, and we'll just have to verify who you are, so we don't have non-students coming on campus for those mornings. So don't stress about the ID. If you don't have one, we'll get you in, okay? Contact Mr. Ion if you are moving before the yearbooks come out. Any other questions, folks, about graduation or graduation practice? Any other questions about graduation week? Anything happening that week? Any other questions as we wrap this up?
You just put a phone number in the chat. Anybody that still needs to order your cap and gown, please call Jostens. Okay, it's at 818-367-2929, and they will help you get that sort of late last minute order in. If you try to go to the website at this point in time, it would be a bit risky to try to order from the website, because they may not notice that you placed an order and then get it to us in time. So our rep is pretty good at trying to really work with you guys to make sure that it arrives, but it's best to call and speak directly to the customer service people. You'll just tell them what school you're from and your name, and then they'll collect payment, and then the rep will take care of getting it to us on time.
Two more questions for you. Are there sunset t-shirts? I don't think so this year, right? And then the awards and scholarship night for seniors?
Do you want to tell them about the link that we'll post the link
for
the video? Yeah.
That's June 25th. The senior scholarship night is June 25th.
There'll be a video link. Yeah.
Graduation, it should be about 90 minutes long. If all goes well, about 90 minutes or so. Maybe 90 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes, 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we hope for graduation to wrap up between 11:30 and 12. Any other questions before we kick you out of here? You're welcome, Angela. Can you wear hats? Are you talking about you'll be wearing a cap for graduation? Are you talking about grad practice? That's totally fine for the practice and senior sunset. Yeah, you can wear hats, no problem at all. If you arrive late to what, Caitlin? Yeah, you can wear hats in the stadium, no problem. Don't arrive late to graduation. If you arrive late, it'll be a pain. It'll be difficult for you. So yeah, you'll just have to come in and walk out into the middle of the field with everybody watching you. So the only way allowed into the stadium is with a senior. So If you don't show up with your senior, you will not be entered. You will not be able to get in the stadium. Very, very important. Everybody understands that. Yes, names will be called based off of where you're sitting. Exactly. The time assigned, if you're late for the time assigned, we'll just have to let you in when you do get there. We just ask everybody respects that process. That's part of our COVID mitigation strategy the county has asked for. Any other questions here?
Yeah, Caitlin, you just have to do your best, plan for early, because even if you arrive to the parking lot early before your assigned time, you can always get out of the car, walk around, maybe take some pictures beforehand, do that kind of thing before you actually come into the stadium. Hopefully at that time of day, it's not super hot. So we should be okay with that. That way you give yourself a little bit of a room. It's more that approach into the stadium where you saw those entry, those doors, they're all together. So it's not like we have separate entrances on different sides of the building. So you'll still kind of all be crowding in together, which is why we did those, those rolling block times of coming in different groups. So if you show up to the parking lot a little ahead of your time to come in, use that time to get ready, maybe have somebody help you with your cap, get your cap bobby pinned on, take a few pictures so that you're ready to go in right at your time.
Yeah, the great question on the live stream. Yes, it will be recorded. The graduation, it will be recorded. Okay, so not just a live stream, but it will be recorded, and we will have that available for people to watch.
The tassels come with your cap. Yeah, the tassels come with your cap. So if you ordered the basic cap and gown unit from Jostens, you will have your gown, your cap, and your tassel. And some of you maybe ordered specialty tassels. So if you ordered a specialty tassel, you'll have that one also. So sometimes you can decide, which one you want to wear on the day of graduation. Sometimes those specialty tassels are the ones you hang from your rear view mirror. I don't know if people still do that, but my day you hang your graduation tassel in your car. So, or, at your house or whatever. So those will be there. Gold robe list will not be released until the Tuesday. Basically you can probably contact Miss Goff. So if you're pending, you should know if you already had the qualifications for CSF off of semester 1. Semester 2, it will be based off of your semester 2 grades, and you might be able to check with Miss Goff on that Tuesday to see if you completely met the qualifications. She's the one I get the list from, and then I give the list. I have the list, and then that's how we know which gown to give you. And then the Jostens rep will come and take back the gown that you didn't need. So essentially you only ordered and paid for one gown, but we're holding both gowns, the gold and the blue, and then whichever one that you end up needing is the one that we will give to you on that Wednesday. Sure, and we can also, maybe we can put the Jostens number on the website, also on the TPA website. I can chat Yoselin or Emmy or somebody if they want to add that on there.
Yeah, just email that to me. We'll get that up there. All right. A couple more. Yeah, Ion's address is CAY. Oh, there we go. Somebody got it for you. Thank you. All right, folks, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. We're going to sign off. And again, this video will be up at tpaa.org/graduation if there's anything you need to go back and get. My email address is up there. Mrs. Todd is in charge of the senior night and that senior week coordination. If you have any questions about any of that, the senior sunset barbecue, you can reach out to her. Yoselin Ramirez is doing a seating chart. And again, we'll make sure to get her email address on our website as well. Folks, have a great night. Thank you so much for being here.